Give for an audience of one. What's wrong with false giving? Matthew 6:2. You gave, and they noticed, and somewhere inside you something was satisfied that they did. That satisfaction, that quiet desire to be seen as generous, as caring, as sacrificial, is the trumpet Jesus is talking about. You don't have to blow it loudly. You can blow it softly in a well-placed mention, a casually visible act of charity, a strategic moment of visible sacrifice. And Jesus says, that's the only reward you'll get, the crowd's approval, paid in full. There is a better reward, but it requires a different audience. Subscribe, because giving for the right reward requires knowing who is really watching. May 5th, daily nourishment to become Christ-like. Teacher Peter Ministries presents daily readings from the life of Christ. Give for an audience of one. When you give to the poor, do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, so that they may be honored by men. Truly I say to you, they have their reward in full. Matthew 6:2. The motive behind the gift determines the reward. Give to be seen, paid in full by the crowd. Give to be seen by God. The Father's reward waits. When you give, not if Jesus did not say if, but when, he expects his followers to give. Notice that Jesus does not say if you give, he says when you give. The giving is assumed. Jesus expects his followers to give to the poor. Giving to the poor literally means any act of mercy, but came to mean more specifically the giving of money or goods to those in need. This is not optional generosity. It is expected discipleship. The question is not whether you give. The question is how and for whom. The trumpet blowers do not sound a trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do, so that they may be honored by men. The Pharisees had developed a sophisticated system for making their giving visible. Some literally had trumpets sounded in the synagogue to call attention to their donations. Others arranged for their giving in the streets to be perfectly positioned for maximum audience. The goal was not to help the poor. The goal was to be seen helping the poor. The need of the recipient was instrumentalized, made into a stage prop for the giver's performance. Jesus identifies this plainly. They give so that they may be honored by men. And they achieve exactly that. The crowd applauds, the reputation grows, the account with God empty. Paid in full by the wrong payer. They have their reward in full. The crowd's approval received. God's blessing forfeited. Jesus' verdict is precise. They have their reward in full. The Greek word is a commercial term, the kind stamped on a receipt, paid in full. The transaction is complete. The crowd has paid what it can pay: admiration, reputation, social standing. And that is all that will come. There is no further account with God, no divine reward awaiting, no eternal return on the investment. The wrong payer settled the account. Just as sympathy for the needy does not help them unless something is actually done, so giving money provides no spiritual blessing unless done from the heart. The act without the right motive produces the wrong reward. The sophisticated trumpet, any strategy designed to draw attention to your giving, is still a basic form of trumpet blowing, however subtly arranged. Many times, of course, the pretense used to draw attention to giving is not so obvious. People know, especially those who profess to follow Christ, that other Christians will resent ostentatiousness. So they seek to make their giving accidentally noticed. The casual mention, the strategic timing, the receipt left visible, the testimony that includes the amount, the social media post framed just carefully enough to seem humble while being entirely visible. But any strategy designed to draw attention is still a basic form of trumpet-blowing hypocrisy. The volume is lower. The principle is identical. Whenever we make a point of doing our giving publicly to be noticed, rather than privately for God's reward, we behave more like the hypocrites of Jesus' day than like his children. The better reward. There is a better reward, but it requires a different audience and a different motive. There is a better reward than the crowd's applause, but it requires giving to a different audience. Your Father who sees what is done in secret, Matthew 6:4. The Father's reward is not forfeited by visibility alone. It is forfeited by the wrong motive. The question is not whether anyone sees your gift. The question is whether their seeing it is what you were hoping for. Give from the heart. Give to meet the need. Give for the Father's reward. And the crowd's notice or ignorance becomes entirely beside the point. Reflection. What are some ways giving can be done for personal recognition, even within the guise of outward humility? How does one guard against craving the credit? The reflection presses the question most of us would rather not ask. What are some of the ways giving can be done for personal recognition, even within the guise of outward humility? The answer is uncomfortable because the forms are many. The testimony that features the amount, the giving that increases when others are present, the strategic mention at the right moment in the right moment, the receipt kept visible rather than filed away. And then the harder question, how does one guard against this need for acknowledgement? And the deepest question, what are we forgetting when we are tempted to crave the credit for every dollar we share with others? What we are forgetting is whose money it was before it left our hands. Application. Give for the Father's reward. The question is not whether anyone sees your gift. The question is whether their seeing it is what you were hoping for. Audit your motive, not just your amount. Just as sympathy for the needy does not help them, giving money provides no spiritual blessing unless done from the heart. This week, conduct a motive audit on your recent giving. Not, how much did I give? But why did I give? Was there a point where the gift grew because someone was watching? Was there a moment where you arranged for the giving to be visible? Was the testimony that followed the gift more about the giver's character than the recipient's need? The audit is not to produce shame. It is to expose the trumpet so it can be set down. Giving from the heart begins with knowing what is actually in the heart. Give one gift this week that no one will know about. Your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Matthew 6:4. The most direct antidote to the trumpet is the gift no one can applaud. This week, identify one act of giving that will remain entirely between you and God. No mention, no receipt kept visible, no testimony that follows it, not even a hint that it happened. Give to the need. Give from the heart. Let the Father's reward be the only reward. This is not about dramatic secrecy. It is about practicing the discipline of the audience of one. What you discover in that silence about your own desire for acknowledgement will be more valuable than the applause you are learning not to need. Remember whose money it was. What are we forgetting when we crave credit for every dollar we share? Whose money it was before it left our hands? The reflection asks, what are we forgetting when we are tempted to crave credit for every dollar we share with others? The answer is simple and devastating. We are forgetting whose money it was before it left our hands. We are stewards, not owners. The resource we gave was never ours to begin with. It was entrusted to us by the one who owns everything. When a steward returns a portion of the owner's resources to those the owner cares about, there is no credit to take. There is only faithfulness to acknowledge. And the one who acknowledges it is the only one worth impressing. Pray, Father, let my giving be for your eyes only. I want to give for your eyes only. Let the crowd's approval become less to me than your reward. Father, I confess I want to be seen, not in a dramatic or obvious way, but the desire is there, the quiet hope that the right people noticed, that my generosity registered, that the gift I gave was counted toward my reputation as a caring, giving person. I know the trumpet Jesus describes. I have blown versions of it, not always loudly. Sometimes just a well-placed mention, a casually visible act, a testimony that included the amount. I know what I was doing. Teach me to give for an audience of one. Let the crowd's approval become genuinely less to me than your reward. Not by suppressing the desire for acknowledgement through discipline alone, but by growing in the understanding of whose money it was to begin with. I am a steward. This resource was never mine. When I give what belongs to you to those you care about, There is no credit to take. There is only faithfulness to offer. Let me practice the gift no one knows about. Let the silence after a secret gift become the space where I discover how much I was depending on the applause. And in that silence, let me find you, the Father who sees what is done in secret and rewards accordingly. That reward is worth more than every impressed reaction I have ever collected. In Jesus' name, amen. Meditate. They have their reward in full, but there is a better reward. The account is settled, but your Father who sees in secret rewards differently. Carry this truth. Jesus says, when you give, not if. Giving is expected, but the motive determines the reward. Give to be seen by the crowd. They have their reward in full. The account is closed. Give from the heart for the Father's reward. The better reward waits. What I forget when I crave the credit is whose money it was before it left my hands. I am a steward returning what belongs to another. The audience of one is the only one worth giving for. When the desire to be noticed rises, remember that satisfaction is the only reward you will receive. Is it enough? When giving secretly feels pointless, remember your Father sees. The account is open with the right payer. When you crave the credit, remember whose money was it before it left your hands. Let these words renew your mind. Takeaway. The crowd's reward is all you get. Give to be seen, paid in full. Give from the heart for the Father. The better reward waits. Jesus says, when you give, not if. Giving is expected discipleship, but giving to impress others with piety and generosity will receive no further reward from God. The crowd pays what it can: admiration, reputation, social standing. That is all that will come. Just as sympathy without action does not help the needy, so giving without the right heart provides no spiritual blessing. The sophisticated trumpet, the subtle, accidentally noticed gift, is still trumpet blowing. Any strategy to draw attention is hypocrisy in a lower key. Give from the heart. Give for the Father's reward. And remember whose money it was before it left your hands. Subscribe. You gave, and they noticed, and somewhere inside you something was satisfied that they did. That quiet desire to be seen as generous, that's the trumpet Jesus is talking about. You don't have to blow it loudly. A well-placed mention works, a strategically visible act of charity, a testimony that includes the amount. And Jesus says that's the only reward you'll get, paid in full, by the crowd. The account with God closed. There is a better reward, but it requires giving for a different audience, your Father who sees what is done in secret. Giving is expected discipleship. Jesus said when, not if. The question is not whether you give, it's why, and what you are forgetting when you crave the credit, whose money it was before it left your hands. Subscribe, because giving for the right reward requires knowing who is really watching. Subscribe, give for an audience of one.